I'm working on a piece, a little essay. This one's called Objects in Motion, and the subtitle is On Desire, Futility, and Continuing Anyways. It goes like this. So, as I'm shifting the gears of my vehicle and slipping the clutch to balance between the motion and unmotion of hill-stop traffic, I glance upwards to the buildings left of my position, a lengthy trail of offices that rise only about 2 or 3 stories. I notice a tall and handsome man in a velvety blue suit with a silvering head of hair and a light beard standing on one of the balconies. Now he was standing still, leaning against the railing with one hand, but I felt that his heart was pacing, because he was puffing on a vape and producing clouds that could combat the ones in the sky once they had reached them. I thought, hey, that guy looks like he's got it all. Nice suit, nice balcony to look over on his break, nice job at an insurance firm. I wonder if he's found it. It being that thing that I'm confident no man has yet found. That thing, I would call that thing, perhaps, the woman that eludes us all. Not the one, per se, but that thing surely is a woman to my mind. The woman who you think you've made good headway towards, who, when the workday is done, goes scurrying off to her car in a hurry, perhaps to avoid you. Mismatched again and again. Is that the way things are always to be? Has it ever been the case that the feelings towards one another were ever equal? It seems to me that when one is filled with that violent ecstasy of passion that I imagine overtakes us all, then the other is rock-bound merely to be a cold and unfeeling beam of steel in comparison. As we grow older, we gain insight, and the steadily building, though never quite finished, realization that the pursuit of happiness is folly grows alongside us too. Is joy only to be felt when one is at complete odds with reality? Must it be always illusory? Must we be always eluded? One sees before himself a magnificent field almost ready for harvest in one moment. The next he'll come to notice that it's all blight-ridden. One may be blissful now, but soon be in complete and utter misery. What goes up, indeed, must come down, and it is in that hole of melancholy that we're compelled to act. These feelings are unfortunately necessary. But I can hardly catch my breath. The torture of it all, of living, is too much sometimes. Not quite enough to compel me to exit stage, but enough to make eternity of unliving seem less overwhelming. We pray to live when we stand upon the cliff's edge, but are we thankful when we're sat by the warmth of a crackling hearth? How can we be? I admit that I myself am plagued by woman troubles, and that seems to be my lot, the lot of most men, and that we must accept. I don't think I'll ever be happy, always looking for what's not there, never satisfied by what is. It's enough to drive anyone insane. Those of my like and I, may God have mercy upon our souls. I don't imagine I'm going through this alone. Let me speak frankly for a second and invoke theology a little. God made Adam and then Eve from his rib. The thought passes occasionally that that was really when God cursed mankind, for he blessed him with a companion, yes, but what else? Continuation of spirit. He allowed man to go on living endlessly. Was this supposed to be a blessing or a punishment? Thinking about it more scientifically, though I am no scientist, let it be known, man evolved from an endless sea of proteins, I think. Initially, all one needed to do in order to survive was to be an existing protein. Then, from fate's cruel whip, we were shaped into what we are today. All man is the answer to that violent thrashing we've received and been receiving on this isolated rock which orbits ad nauseum around a random star. We ask, what is it all for? And we get no reply, so we're forced to invent. Nothing about this makes any sense at all. Nothing. We're all objects in motion. The apple doesn't fall from the tree with any sense of purpose. It simply falls because that's what happens. Everything just happened and happens still. And here we all are, mad apes. In order to muster up the will to find food, one must first be hungry. Pain exists because it is necessary, but is life necessary, I ask myself. The answer, when looked at as objectively as humanly possible, is a resounding no, it's not. For what is necessary, really? We've invented what's necessary, and everything we invented, we did so in order to live. And I released my clutch and started up the hill. Clutch down, shift to second, clutch slowly rising upwards. Feel the engine quietly roaring as we pass the traffic by. I keep my eyes peeled, because what I was looking for in that moment was parking. You can find my work on Medium. I'll admit, perhaps it's not the best stuff, but it keeps getting better, bit by bit. And, yeah, if you feel what I'm putting down, feel free to take a gander, and I'll keep writing, because, I just keep feeling the need, I keep feeling the burn from what life has to offer. So it's from that fire that's lit up under my ass that I run to the keyboard and put down what I'm feeling, and I try to make it readable and entertaining, and just it depends on who wants to listen or read. So if that's you, check it out.